Hi, back again. Skip Bayless. Had to change rooms, have a little Wi-Fi streaming issue here in the Bayless household. Again, got my lucky Cowboy t-shirt on. We're minutes away from kickoff of what I believe is the Cowboy game of the season. This will define my Dallas Cowboys. I hated seeing Jerry Jones once again with Tony Romo, his quote-unquote son, at John Stephen Jones, his grandson's state championship game. Congratulations to John Stephen, Highland Park Scots, winning that state championship yesterday at Jerry World. But I hated to see Tony Romo sitting up next to Jerry in his box. It's so disrespectful to Dak Prescott. Never in the history of pro football has a rookie ever had more pressure on him than Dak has on him tonight. This is win to keep your job, even though you are 11-2 with an 11-game winning streak in between two losses of 20-19 and 10-7. You're still one game away from Tony Romo, I believe, returning to the starting lineup for the following Monday night game against the Detroit Lions. And it just burns me up. I'm convinced Dak Prescott is the future and the present of this team. And tonight, I believe he's going to prove that. I believe that he will have a solid performance against a crazy hot Tampa defense that the last 5 weeks has been the number one defense over that 5-game stretch in the National Football League. It has led in turnovers forced over the last 5 weeks, plus 14, which is staggering. So this is going to be a tall order for a fourth-round rookie out of Mississippi State, and I believe he will stand up to that tall order with a little help from his co-star, his rookie co-star, Ezekiel Elliott. That Tampa front is a little smallish. Linebackers are a little undersized, and I think the Cowboy defense can bludgeon them. It may take a while, but I think they can bludgeon them. And I still say you have to give Dak Prescott a break for having had to play at Minnesota on a Thursday night when that defense was flying around and that crowd was crazy loud. As I said earlier in our little broadcast here, I have no idea what happened to Minnesota. It looked like they just quit on Mike Zimmer, and I have no idea what happened. I thought Adrian Peterson would re-inspire them, but apparently that didn't happen. But they were inspired for the Cowboys, and they gave Zeke all they wanted, but Dak won that game barely, and he couldn't pull off the one play needed to win at the Giants last Sunday night, and he lost 10-7. So he barely lost one game and barely won the game before. And yet his job's on the line tonight because the owner, who can be a little crazy and a little self-centered and a little egocentric, gave Tony Romo, he bet the ranch on Tony, $108 million, $55 million guaranteed back in 2013, and Jerry's pride is on the line. He likes Tony Romo. He wants to win this Super Bowl with Tony Romo, and I'm sure Jerry's thinking, my grandson just won a state championship in my building, in the shrine that I built to myself, Jerry World, AT&T Stadium. So it's destiny. It's meant for Tony Romo then to lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl this year, after the grandson won for the Highland Park Scots. Baloney, Jerry. I'm not buying it. I am buying Dak Prescott. So tonight is the night that this team shows it can get back on track and have just a solid win. I'm calling it 23-14 Dallas, but I have great respect for Jameis Winston. I'm a big Jameis fan, and I think Jameis will play well. The Cowboy defense has played increasingly quietly well week after week. It reminds me a little bit of the New England defense. Not quite that well coached, maybe not quite that talented, but New England's defense just rose and shown you at Denver. It's now the number one scoring defense in the league. And Dallas is a top 5 defense. It's ranked 5th right now. And if it could hold Jameis and company to, say, a couple touchdowns, 14 points, it might rise a little more in the rankings up to maybe the 4th spot. So all I see is a solid win, but they have to win. And I told Shannon Sharp on Undisputed that this is it. If they lose tonight, they're going to fall back into a big pack of contenders. I will not be as bullish as I have been on the Cowboys. Obviously, they lose. You're not going to get a how about those Cowboys tomorrow on Undisputed. You're going to get long way to go, starting over. Have to beat Detroit now just to stay in the race, because here come the Giants. I've said from the start the Giants were the biggest threat in the NFC East, and the $200 million that they spent on that defense is starting to pay big dividends. They looked really good against a Matt Stafford today, who obviously has an injured middle finger on his throwing hand. But I thought he threw the ball fairly well, and he couldn't get the ball in the end zone. So here come the Giants. And yet, here come my Cowboys. Because if you had told me in August my Cowboys would be 11-2, as I glance up at the shots on the screen as we get ready for kickoff, if you told me in August they'd be 11-2 with a home game against Tampa, followed by a home game against Detroit, to very possibly secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs, I would have gotten up on this table right here. I'm now in my living room here of Bayless Manor. I would have gotten right up on this table right here, and I would have done the Billy White Shoes Johnson funky chicken dance, because that's what it would have, that would have been cause to celebrate a potential Super Bowl in August. So am I a little nervous about tonight? A little nervous, just because Dak had a hard time last week at New York. But Eli Manning, I continue to tell Shannon Sharp this and everybody else who debated me on Undisputed, Eli went right to the interview podium after that game last Sunday night and said, in effect, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you guys don't understand how hard it was to throw the football tonight, because it had snowed through the afternoon and it was slushy, and every ball that he gripped was wet. Every ball that Odell and company tried to catch was wet, and there were some big drops in that game, and for the first time in Dak's life, he was inaccurate. And it shook me up a little bit, but again, was it wet ball inaccurate? I think it was. So tonight is the night. I think Dak will have much better grip on the football and on himself. Was I concerned a week ago that I saw the TMZ video of Dak and Zeke, the club? That was, it'd be a week ago Monday night. They were on a little mini bye week after the Thursday night game. Did I love it that they were in some club in Dallas shaking and spraying champagne? No, I wasn't. Premature, kid stuff, I get it. 23 and 21 years of age. Just not a good look. Maybe that came back to bite them a little bit at New York. I'm sure the Giants talked about that before the game. Do I love it that now Dak has done his first commercial already? I wish he had waited until the offseason, but he did one for, I guess, Champ Sports and Adidas. But again, I like the message of it, because the message was, go ahead and doubt me. I think Jerry Jones has gone ahead and doubted Dak. I think Jerry Jones is poised to reinsert Tony Romo in the lineup for next Monday night if Dak either, number one, struggles personally, or number two, if he struggles and they lose. I think Tony Romo is one game away from being in that lineup. Again, that'd be Monday Night Football against Detroit. And it angers me, because go ahead, Jerry, and doubt him. Go ahead, all those debaters on Undisputed, doubt him. Go ahead, Shannon Sharp, and doubt him. Tonight, he will doubt you back. He will be Dak again. It will be the Dak attack. I like the odds tonight for the Cowboys. They're 7-point favorites. Vegas likes them. It may be gotten bet down a little bit before kickoff, because I'm sure the bandwagon is rolling for Jameis and company, because, hey, 5 straight, they're about as hot as any team in the league right now. But I am sticking with my August prediction. Cowboys, Patriots, book it. And I'm even sticking with the fact that I've got the Patriots beating my Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. So here we come. We got Michelle Tafoya interviewing Jason Garrett on the sideline. We're counting down toward a huge kickoff. This is where I find out, and we find out, what this team is really all about. Will the defense hold up against Jameis? I say it'll hold up well enough to keep him to 14 points. Will Dak and Zeke look like the Dak and Zeke of Thanksgiving Day against Kirk Cousins? Yes, they will. They will show you their backbone. They will show you their guts. They will show you their character. And that offensive line will show you that it can slowly but surely dominate this Tampa Bay front. That's what I think will happen. We're getting close to kickoff, so I'm going to wind down because I cannot wait to watch this. I will see all of you at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern time on Undisputed tomorrow, 9:30 to noon. And we'll see if Shannon Sharp gets to eat any more crow. He's going to eat crow on the New England-Denver game already, so he could get 2 servings of crow tomorrow. So watch us, Undisputed, Fox Sports 1, 9:30 Eastern time tomorrow. Appreciate all of you hanging with me here on my maiden voyage on Facebook Live, and I will see you soon right here on this medium sometime this week. Over and out.